What's going on, all you wild space invaders out there? It's your two favorite aliens back here for Cinephellas, and we're back doing more 31 Days of Horror. And I'm the host tonight, Logan Myers. That's my good mate over there.
And I'm the co-host, Henry Hill, and we've got a good one to talk about tonight. A brand new horror film that just dropped out of nowhere, seemingly, just like a UFO would late at night. UFO abductions. The UFOs come and hover over a house, and the next thing that happens, well, we see in this movie, we get an awesome vantage point of an alien invasion, essentially. And this movie just came out of nowhere, came on Hulu this weekend. We are talking about Caitlin Dever in the brand new Hulu 20th Century Fox film, No One Will Save You.
Yeah, going back to what you're saying, we didn't know anything about this. There's marketing was terrible. We check movie sites every day, and there was nothing about this movie.
No.
It was released a few days later. A few friends, were talking about it online. I'm like, I'm going to check this out. You were talking about it. I'm like, man, I'm really glad I did, because this movie was spooky as hell, especially the first act of the movie. But the setup is we have Bryn, played by Caitlin Dever. Huge fan of her work. She's a great actress, and in this role played Bryn. She lives by herself out in middle of nowhere, rural America. Not really sure, maybe the South or Midwest, but she lives by herself, going about her day. Looks like it's maybe the 1950s, because the way she dresses, the inside of her house looks a little older. Goes about her day and then goes to bed at night, and essentially aliens show up and sets up a really spooky chase scene.
Really terrifying opening to the movie. 30 minutes. Man, from the get-go, you're thrust into this invasion, this eerie alien invasion, seemingly out of nowhere, and much unlike other alien movies where they wait till the very end to, even give you a glimpse of the alien. In this one, you get to see him nearly right away, and it's pretty terrifying how they're introduced, how they get in the house and they're chasing her throughout the house. Shot really well, and the sound design on this phenomenal. You hear every little footstep. The UFO itself, you can hear hovering. Just all the sound like blew me away in this film, and it really made for a tense opening half hour. I was scared, like I told you. I was in my house. I watched this late at night. I was freaked out. I was like looking behind me, looking down the hall, make sure nothing was down there in the shadows. Because when the aliens showed up in this film and were chasing after him, man, it was a terrifying sequence, and one of the best opening sequences in a long time for a horror film.
Literally on the edge of my seat watching this on Saturday night, late at night, lights turned off, had the surround sound, and there's no dialogue because she's only a character. She's not going to talk to herself. So it's super quiet in the aspect, much like Quiet Place or something. But the alien shows up, and all you kind of see is it kind of lurking outside. You can't see what it actually looks like, kind of the shadow, and it's walking back and forth, gets in the house, and you hear it chasing her, and the footsteps, like the creaks of the floor, the old school floor they had there. So any little move she had, the alien would be on. It really sets up kind of another part of this movie having to do with her backstory and her friend and the townspeople, like how she's exiled outside of the town. You find out about that on top of an alien invasion and UFOs.
Yes, a powerhouse performance by Caitlin Dever here. I first saw her on Justified back in the day. She was on that series. She was really great. Hadn't seen her before that. And then, of course, in the great Hulu series Dope Sick, that aired during the pandemic times with Michael Keaton, her playing this addict that got hooked on the OxyContin. She did phenomenal in that. And this one, she blows you away too. The camera is on her essentially throughout the whole film. She has to carry the whole film. She does a great job acting terrified, like any of us would be. She plays it to a T. Having to go toe to toe with these aliens, it sets up some cool action scenes too. And dealing with their backstory and stuff like you mentioned. We're not going to give out any spoilers here. This is the kind of movie you're just going to want to experience yourself without really knowing anything. That's how we watched it. I watched it first, and I told you to watch it. I didn't really spoil anything for you. I just said basically, strap in your seatbelt and prepare for the ride, because this one was, a great alien invasion movie, and a terrifying one at that. It really leaned into the horror. And just seeing all the alien designs and how they did that too, how they walked, how they moved, the noises and voices that they had. I thought everything was really well done. And they're throughout the whole film. You're not just, seeing things in the shadow. You're seeing the creatures throughout the whole film. And it's very interesting how it goes and how things end up and how she kind of has to survive this horrifying experience.
I think universally we all have that fear of aliens showing up and sucking us up into a UFO.
Yeah,
I think most people have that fear.
Yeah, Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky was the one that traumatized me. I had PTSD from that. Ever since then, in any sort of movie that really dives into aliens showing up in a really refreshing and unique way, much like No One Will Save You, that fear is unlocked. I'm like, nope, I can't do this. And they really captured that, in terms of aliens, practical effects and CGI they used for this was really phenomenal. It looked really convincing and real. It looked like aliens like back in the 1950s, the big head, the big eyes, the way they move. At times it looked like stop motion too, like the way they did the movements of the aliens and their arms flailing around. It was really creepy, unsettling about that without giving too much away. Just the way they portrayed the aliens is just everybody's worst nightmare.
Absolutely, man. It was freaky. This whole movie was freaky. It got under my skin. The perfect film really for this time of year, and awesome that it was such a surprise for us. Would have been cool to see this get a theatrical release. But, it hasn't fell on deaf ears, and a lot of people have seen this. It's gotten praise from, Guillermo del Toro, Stephen King, a ton of other people. So people are, word of mouth on this film is growing, and people are going to see this, and hopefully they'll release this to, 4K and home media, because I would love to watch this again and, see all the things that I missed the first time and, go through that traumatic experience of this film one more time. And a great performance by Caitlin Dever. Director Brian Duffield, hadn't heard anything about him before. Not only directed but wrote this film as well. He's done screenplays in the past for the Divergent series. He wrote The Babysitter back in 2017. So he's got some good works, but this one's going to put him on the map for sure. And I would love to see him, take a stab at another, something else in the horror genre, or even another alien flick, because the way he created this movie and put this together, shot it, it was phenomenal. A great movie all around.
Yeah, this is a really, really impressive movie. Not knowing too much about this, first time hearing this writer director, Brian Duffield, did a really fantastic job in this. First two acts are really top notch. Third act goes off the rails a little bit, but the ending is really satisfying, I thought. Impressive movie. This is something I didn't hear about. It's a movie you definitely want to watch during the Halloween season with your loved ones, friends, whatever. Turn off the lights. If you got a surround sound, definitely encourage that, because it really brings you into the movie with the sound design. It's super eerie. Not a lot of dialogue. Much like I said, like Quiet Place, the first act of the movie, especially with only Caitlin Dever. This is a movie I'll definitely probably be rewatching in the future with a 4K release, and then definitely next Halloween, and it's my list again. The movie we both highly recommend that's currently streaming on Hulu. So I'm giving No One Will Save You a 4 out of 5 Caitlin Dever hair pieces.
And I am going to give No One Will Save You. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 Area 51 hair pieces.
I want to hear from all you extraterrestrials out there. What did you like about No One Will Save You? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite scene in the movie? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out these wild ghouls on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for latest, greatest TV movie news and reviews. You should have listened to Tom DeLonge all along. Aliens do exist.
Thank you guys so much for watching our review of No One Will Save You. Make sure to stay tuned all month long. October, the 31 Days of Horror. Me and this guy are reviewing all sorts of movies and TV shows, mostly scary, some just scary to watch. But we're going to be back all month long, so stay tuned to this here channel. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Please comment on our posts, and we love interacting with you guys. We'll reply. Let us know what you guys thought of this flick. So until the next time, I'm Uncle Henry Hill.
And I'm Logan Dever, signing out to the next 31 Days of Horror movie review.
Cheers.